welcome back to FantasyCast for this week, game week 6 of the Fantasy Premier League podcast. We're heading into this week, another week of Fantasy Premier League content for you this week again. How are we both? Our two people that we've got on this week.
I'm doing all right, thank you.
As you can see, you're good. I'm wearing a Manchester United shirt because, I made a bet against a thief. If Manchester United beat West Ham, I have to wear a Manchester United jersey. So that's a little bit crap for me. A thief is delighted he didn't have to wear a West Ham shirt because
you have one.
Well, I gave him a what? You're surprised that I have a Manchester United jersey?
Nope. We have a lot of jerseys. Well, he just collects jerseys. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I have Man City jersey, Liverpool jersey, Chelsea jersey. I don't have a Fantasy Premier League jersey yet, but hopefully that'll be coming up soon. But we're going to move on towards our Game Week 6 talk this week, starting off with the fixtures that we're going to target. So Game Week 6 this week, another new set of fixtures, beginning with a tight affair. Some might say that the best defensive teams statistically playing against each other, Chelsea against Man City, at Stamford Bridge. That's starting at 12:30 UK time. At the same time, at Old Trafford, Manchester United play Aston Villa before we move on to the 3 p.m. kickoffs. Everton against Norwich. West Ham going away to Leeds. Leicester hosting Burnley. Watford will be playing Newcastle at Vicarage Road before the late night kickoff at Brentford against Liverpool. Before Sunday's action begins with Southampton against Wolves, and then the North London derby, Arsenal against Tottenham at the Emirates, before it's a Monday night kickoff, Crystal Palace against Brighton to round off our Game Week 6 campaign, guys. I'm going to start off. Well, I'm not going to start off. Afif's going to start off with Chelsea against Man City. Why have you chosen to talk about this game this week?
One, it's because I have an opportunity to slander Manchester City as a team, and two, because I do believe that I don't think there's a bit in between. I think it's either going to be a really exciting match or such a stalemate. It's one of those things where, of course, as Chelsea has such a strong defense, so does Man City. They're both quite possession-heavy teams. Of course, we have Manchester City. I think what's going to be on the benefit of Chelsea is the fact that Man City are absolutely atrocious right now in regards to their shooting. I mean, they're clearly feeling the effects of a lack of a number 9, a lack of a proper striker after the departure of Sergio Aguero. You look at their match against Southampton, 16 shots and only 1 on target. That's unacceptable. Stuff like that. I think just the fact of the matter is that City's just shooting and scoring. Of course, I think they beat who did they beat in the League Cup?
RB Leipzig in the Champions League.
In the League Cup.
Oh, Wickham 6-1.
Yeah. See, at the end of the day, Chelsea has the best defense in the league right now. So I think the fact that City doesn't have a striker that they can truly rely on right now is going to be seen through the fact that they're going to have to struggle. They're going to struggle to score against Chelsea, and of course, Chelsea right now are looking like the favorites to win the league. Even as a United fan, I can admit that they're looking really good. They're looking really cohesive. They're looking like they're just not going to lose right now. With look at their performance against Spurs, we just see that with players like Marcos Alonso, who is a great FPL asset. Of course, he's like Trent. They're both terrible defenders, but they cancel that out by providing a good amount of assists. So yeah, Chelsea, I think are in, especially when you look at their run of matches, unbelievably easy for Chelsea. I do expect them to stay in the top of the table, going through all the way to game week 12. You know, got Southampton, you got Brentford,
Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley,
Norwich,
Leicester.
Newcastle, and Burnley.
An
These are
unbelievable
games
run
that
of
you
fixtures.
expect a team, a team of Chelsea's quality need to be grabbing 15 points from that run, of easy fixtures. So, yeah, I don't think Chelsea will be having a bad time. I think what's a bit more difficult with Chelsea is the fact that they have so many different players who are scoring right now. They don't have a Ronaldo. While they do have Lukaku, how many players have scored for Chelsea already this season?
You have
I
Mount
read it
and
was like
Kovacic, and then
like
Rudiger
10.
joined in.
like 10. Yeah, Rudiger joined.
Kante joined in as
They're
well.
in the double digits for the amount of players that are scoring this season. I do believe Lukaku is still going to continue to, but it's just the fact that they have so many players that are scoring right now. I think that's something that a lot of fantasy managers need to weigh in. You know, just the fact that okay, who's actually going to consistently score and perform? And his name is Romelu Lukaku, of course. But yeah, Chelsea looks scary, very scary team. I think it's going to be an exciting run of fixtures for them.
Mark, you're smiling after listening to all of that. Do you agree?
Of course, it's literally until like the end of November when we play United. Like that's the hardest game. Like before that, it's Leicester, and I'm for once not scared about Leicester anymore. Like Leicester haven't really been performing like consistently at the start of the season like we're used to seeing anymore. So I think that's gonna be all right. And then obviously I just listed all the rest of the names, and these are all FTR like 2 after this Man City game. So like these are like let me see here. Like 5 game
got
weeks
2
is gonna be a
notes.
breeze.
In the next 3 games, 2 of them are against promoted sides.
Yeah.
That just puts into perspective how easy it is for Chelsea. And I think that'll be very, very interesting options. You know, people. I've just brought in Rudiger, very, very recently. Afif has Alonso, if I'm not mistaken, and Kai Havertz as well. Hopefully, they keep carrying in on returns coming into this week. Mark, let's move on to your fixture. Your fixture is late night kickoff at the Brentford Community Stadium, Brentford against Liverpool. What do you think about that game? Obviously, we have a small injury crisis, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah. Yep, we do, but I don't think that's really gonna be like a huge issue for Liverpool. I mean, like Brentford are a good side. Don't get me wrong; they've been playing really good football, but Liverpool are just like way better in like every aspect of the way. Like you look at Brentford, I don't think you see like their star, like a true like star player like Premier League level wise. They got Ivan Toney, yeah, and like maybe Ryan Mbembo, but that's really it. Like the defense is like, it's good. Like it's better than Norwich's, but it's all right. But then if you look at like Liverpool's lineup, we have like Van Dijk's come back in. We've got Konate's in now, Matip is in. Like that's a really good defense, and I think Ivan Toney is going to really struggle against that back line. And I think Salah and Mane and Jota, if he starts at the false 9 position, I think that's just really is a good signing, if I'm right. The Danish center back that they signed this summer. Like he's a good defender, but that's kind of it. So I think this is quite an easy win for Liverpool this upcoming game week.
Were you talking about Pontus Jansson? He's Swedish.
No, not Janssen, not Janssen. The guy that they signed this season. Hold on.
Aya.
Christoph Aye. Yes, Christoph Aye is like, he's a very good defender. But I don't think that's enough to stop the front through of Salah, Mane, and Jota. And even Like, even if Firmino starts, I think he can actually score in this match.
Well, Firmino is currently doubtful at the moment. He's flagged it yellow. He's recently pulled out an injury, and
He's got a knock. All right.
yeah, he's got a little bit of a knock, but we'll see if he comes back in towards the squad this week. Afif, will you be? You have Salah in your team. Will you be looking to captain him?
Yep. I'm still gonna keep Salah my captain. I think there's no. Oh, dude, he's like a player that I absolutely hate, but I can't find a reason to hate. You know what I mean? I think it's like Bruno Fernandes for a lot of fans. You know, they admit that he's world class, but they still hate him. Same with Mo Salah for me. I hate him, but he's my captain. He's too good. He gets too many points. So yeah. Great. I love him. I love me my Mohamed Salah.
Well, speaking of captains, I'm going to talk about another potential captaincy pick that we could be considering this week. Mikel Antonio's team, West Ham, are against Leeds United. A Leeds United team that's defensively bruised, to paint a few nice words about Leeds United. Luke Eiling's injured. I'll just name out some of the injury-stricken casualties from Leeds so far. Luke Eiling, Diego Llorente, Koch, Pascal Struijk is suspended for 2 more games as well. Rafinha, Jack Harrison, and Patrick Bamford all in the injury list for Leeds United. I think West Ham are going to have an easy time against Leeds this game, because Leeds will be without most of their first team. Mikel Antonio's first game in return as well against Leeds after his suspension 2 games ago. Said Benrahma coming back and returning to the score sheet again after the goal against Manchester United. I think there's a lot to love from this game. There's really a lot to love from this game. What do you guys think?
It's decent. It's decent. I don't think there's it's not a game that I'm gonna watch, but it's good potential. I mean, West Ham are a really good team, honestly. So I think they should come away with 3 points.
Yeah,
I think like Leeds are pretty bad with the injuries that they have, but don't forget they have people like Rodrigo, who has weirdly been playing in center mid instead of striker. And then also we have like Tyler Roberts, who's on the bench, and then they still have Dan James, who is pretty good. Stuart Dallas is going to play anywhere that Marcelo Bielsa wants. I think you might see McKinstry on the right instead of Somerville. I'm trying to think of anyone else that might be of interest. Like the only like true problem I see with them is like in defense, because I think you said Luke Ayling's out, right? So who's going to play center back? Probably Calvin Phillips and like Liam Cooper together. And then you have your usual Junior Firpo, Dan James probably on the left. And then I'd see like I don't know who's going to be in like central midfield, but I know that Rodrigo's not going to play center mid again. Like, I don't think like he should be that guy who plays center mid, even if he's like a top striker. Like, if you want someone like Patrick Bamford, you just tell him to start pressing with Rodrigo. That you get Rodrigo to press instead of like do that Bamford rule, because I know he can do it. And Tyler Roberts can do that as well, but I don't think he's going to be as effective as Rodrigo up top.
Yeah, it is worth looking at. Leeds United are quite weakening. We all have Mikel Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. If not,
Yep.
Yes.
We'll be looking for some attacking returns this week then, shouldn't we? Antonio?
Yeah,
Make up for his red
definitely.
card. He better make up for his red card.
I mean, he is the top. He is still by far the top scoring striker in FPL so far, outfoxing Jamie Vardy by 10 points still to date. He only went and picked up -1 for 2 games.
Oh Christ.
So that makes him a very, very tasty FPL option. Well, that's it for game week 6. Let's move on to this week's Twitter question. So time for the Twitter question this week. Tom Mann has asked, get in a Chelsea defender now to potentially save on game week 7 or 8 wildcard? Yes, I think we should. I think we all should. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Comfortable, yes?
Yeah.
But which defender should we look for? That's the main question. So we have we've had Alonso, we have had Rudiger, we've had Christensen, who started a few games. Cesar Azpilicueta, a little bit pricey. Thiago Silva registered a goal against Chelsea. And Daniel
Against
James,
Chelsea.
not Daniel James.
Reece
James, the Chelsea right back. Also potential options as well. Let's start off with the Chelsea fan, Mark. Which defenders do you think we should all go for?
I think if you want something a bit mixed, right? Like, you know, it's like our Tishmakas and like Trent like answer for Chelsea. It's like Alonso, because I think Alonso has been seen as like the big game player for Chelsea in recent weeks, because I think he started against Liverpool. He started like basically the last few big games as well, even in the Champions League, and he's been playing like well in the system that Tuchel won. So he's gonna try to get like creative numbers up from him while he puts Azpilicueta on the right wing back as a more defensively. So I think Alonso is probably like a big shout. Rudiger, I don't really like fantasy-wise because you're really relying on him for goal scoring from corners, and that's not like a really big idea unless you got like the money for it, really. I think Reece James and Chilwell are probably gonna be rotation for the easier games. Like Tuchel probably wants those two to play in those games where they're easier, and they know that they're gonna have like a better time playing against the opposition in his system, and let them get used to the 3-4-3 system that he's implemented. Because if you see last season, especially with Chilwell, when he played in that 3-4-3, that it didn't really go well for him yet because he hasn't really settled in. Whereas with Reece James, it's worked. But I've noticed that Azpilicueta has been playing in the right wing back slot because I think he wants more defensive solidity on the right, and it allows Marcus Alonso to bomb up on the left side of the pitch more. So I think mainly Marcus Alonso is what people want to target. Like, I wouldn't really go for central defenders unless you know for some reason that we're gonna get a lot of corners in the game.
Well, I went for Rudiger because of his rotation-free risk for that's why he tends to start most of the games.
What do you go? Can I just say
9 out of 10 games?
regards
Yes, please.
to Mark's point with like the you don't take risks when it comes to corners. I do totally agree with that, because like like I feel like the probability of a defender scoring like a header from corners is like is like absurdly like low now. So as a United supporter, I think it's like good to use my own personal like opinion on it. It's the fact that we have Lindelof, Varane, Maguire. These guys are so tall, and yet like we I think against West Ham we had double digit corners and we couldn't score one. I think it's like don't take that big of a risk when it comes to defenders and scoring headers from corners. I would agree with Wade.
Yeah.
Just if you want to get an expensive defender, get one that's not going to be in rotation. Is always going to start. So
Yeah, like Rudiger.
Aspilicueta.
Yeah, but as for Aspilicueta, then I might as well get Rudiger, no? Because Rudiger's 5.6 now.
Yeah. No, it's in like another example. If you want like someone who always starts is between Aspilicueta and Rudiger, and then everyone else is rotation from that Chelsea side line. Like we're even seeing like Trevor Chabaloa getting minutes against the easier sides as well, which is like good. But like in fantasy perspective, it's not that great because you don't know other than like Aspilicueta and Rudiger who's gonna start. So
Yeah, Michael Christensen. What do you guys think about him? Just briefly.
no opinion.
he's been playing well, but I wouldn't put him in fantasy because I know he's not gonna start every game unless he really proves himself. Like out and out every week, like very good performances. Like he's been good so far, but is he gonna start every game? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's always that danger that we look out for in fantasy all the time. Well, we're going to move on towards our penultimate section of the podcast. We're going to talk about our players that we'll be looking out for this week.
Perfect.
So we're talking about the players that we'll be bringing in this week then. Starting off with Afif. Who are you going to be getting into your team this week, Mr. Passion Merchant? He can't contain himself. He can't even contain it. You can't even take him seriously.
Relax. All right. Jokes aside. I'm gonna be bringing in Jesse. I can't take it seriously. Jesse Lingard is a get for everybody. If you don't get Jesse Lingard, you are mistaken. Let me say something. 100% goal rate. 2 games, 2 goals. A goal in every game. Both goals, absolute bangers. No more arguing. Jesse Lingard is the GOAT. I'm sorry, Wei.
Should we tell him why he's wrong? Should we tell him why he's wrong?
No. Because any statistical information that you say into my face, it goes into one ear, it goes out the other.
No wonder the math teacher at Nexus don't like you that much.
Get Bruno Fernandes. Hey, excuse me, bro. Mr. Jared, my homie. Get Bruno Fernandes. Here's why I think we should all get Bruno Fernandes. I think the second Ronaldo came into the squad and Pogba was getting all the assists, I think people forgot about the fact that Bruno Fernandes still scores and does make assists, honestly. I don't know why a lot of people took out Bruno. He's being subbed out so much. I feel so bad. Best player.
Yeah, like if you can, right? The godly trio is Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, and Ronaldo. Like that is the best like attacking trio I've seen.
Anyways, yep, it's coming home.
Mark, who will you be getting in this week?
He's ignored me.
Marcus Alonso, because I don't have him yet and I probably should get him. But we already talked enough about him. Or Damari Gray. Because if we look at Damari Gray's next 2 fixtures, which I can't do, there we go. If we ignore the Man United game, which is happening in game week 7, he has Norwich this weekend, and then West Ham, who are doing like all right, but we don't know what's gonna happen. Watford, Wolves, and a really shaky Tottenham defense. I think Damari Gray like is gonna do like really well in those games.
Afif, do you agree?
Yes. With my heart and my soul. You guys got FIFA 22 yet? I'm thinking of getting
No,
FIFA
we
22.
haven't.
Mark, have you got FIFA 22?
I think
Mark. Mark? Mark. Mark?
Yeah.
You got
What?
FIFA 22 yet?
No.
I really
Why are
want to
you
get it.
randomly asking me about settings?
I
exactly.
don't know.
exactly.
It's decent.
In a fantasy Premier League podcast, you suddenly talk about FIFA 22.
That's good, bro. Need to add a bit of comedic relief.
Your
But edit this
comedic
part out
relief of
anyway.
Jesse Lingard is literally comedic relief. Because I literally shot down your argument within 10 seconds.
What? The fact that he doesn't start, okay, and he scores.
You literally went and
You know what would be
Anyway,
crazy if you had Jesse?
Oi. I want to get rid of Pablo Fornals.
Okay, right. Let's move on to our remove players, shall we? Mark, you have something to say? Pablo Fornals, your option.
I want to get rid of Pablo Fornals.
Why?
Okay. On a more serious note, when Afif comes down, I want to get rid of Pablo Fornals because I looked at his numbers, and it's basically the same as last season, so it's okay. Whereas if I look at Ben Ramos and Antonius, they're obviously way better. So I think I'm wasting money on Fornals like so far. So I'm gonna remove him, and then I'll get Damari Gray in. And I'm thinking about removing some of my defense so that I can get Alonso in, but I am not too sure.
Cool. I'll be removing from my team Ferran Torres if I was you. I just think he's a rotation risk. You know, his numbers are really, really good. He's got an expected returns per 90 of 0.74, which is quite good for his price point in FPL. But I just think that him not starting is a really, really big threat into our growth for our FPL teams. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, I can say this about Ferran Torres, right? If you look at the way he's been playing recently, and like since he's come in, I think Pep has been trying to make him the next number 9 of the team. Like, it's obvious that he is not there yet, but he has been playing really well as their number 9 for now. Like, he's been doing pretty well, and Gabriel Jesus, who everyone thought, oh, he's like the Aguero replacement, right? He's starting to do what Ferran Torres did when he was back in Valencia and playing out on the right and then whipping balls in and stuff. So I think they may have like a role switch and Ferran Torres play as the number 9. So depending on how well it goes for him, he might be like, possibly a nailed on starter soon for number 9 instead of on the right. But fantasy wise, like right now, probably it's a good idea. It depends on how you feel. Like, if you feel confident about him in the number 9, go for it. Keep him in your team. If not, then yeah, just remove him. I mean, it's a 50-50, so.
Yeah. Afif, what do you think about Ferran Torres?
He's a great player. Very talented. But so is most of the City team. And yet half of them never start. But then also the other half doesn't start at the same time. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola's, the way he rotates his players is just so unpredictable. So it's just like not a risk, you know. But yeah, Ferran Torres is a great talent, which it's kind of a shame. But I do agree with Mark, where I think if there were any player that would take that number 9 position permanently, it would be him. But yeah, Guardiola's rotation, it's a roll of a dice in regards to fantasy. It's the beauties of fantasy.
Yes. Afif, who have you got to sell this week?
Who am I letting go from my team? Well, that's a very good question, Wei. So when I look at my team, I think somebody who I'm definitely letting go is like Traore, gonna be replacing with Ismail Sarr, who sadly I did have in my team, but then I removed. But then he played good, so now he's gonna be back in my team. Brandon Williams, I'm gonna give him another week. See if he does well. I think with Trent, I don't think he's gonna be out. I think that illness is just, I think it's passable. He'll be fine by the time the game goes. So honestly, really only Traore. Yeah.
Mark, what do you think about Traore? He can't finish, can he?
Fire alarm. Not that was fire alarm. Let's get the shit off me. I think if we start seeing Traore finish more or like do really good low crosses for Jimenez, I think that's when you want to keep him. But right now, considering that he's not finishing that much, even though he's getting a lot of chances, it's yeah, I'd remove him.
Yeah.
Like I don't see him. Like the best thing he can do is get into the box with his dribbling and speed, but he can't finish.
Yeah, he
Like
can't.
I don't remember how many shots he's had, but a lot of them are like just not going in at all. So
He's got an expected goals return of of 0.16 so far from the first 4 games.
oh my god,
But
0.1 from the first 4 games.
No, 1
Oh,
point.
that's so bad.
No, 1.56.
Oh, 1.56.
Yeah.
Okay, that's still bad, but not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like that's like for those who don't know, that's okay. Like for like an average Premier League player, that's okay if you're not a defender.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I guess Wolves are not like hot form right now, so I'd remove. Like you also gotta consider the game weeks and everything. So
Yeah. Afif, what do you think about Adama Traore?
I mean,
that's
I'm taking
literally
him
his
out of my
remote.
team for a reason. No, it's because he's absolutely atrocious. I think he's a dribble merchant. He's a dribble and pace merchant who can't do anything else but dribble and run. So okay, you ran past the final defender, put it in the back of the net. Clearly, you can't do that. Then why should I still have you in my team? You know.
Fair enough. That is a good point.
True. Oh well, enough of the player talk then. Let's talk about captaincy then. Captaincy this week then. Who are we gonna captain this week?
Whoa. Mo Salah.
Mo Salah. Like actually,
Mo
either
Salah.
that or Cristiano Ronaldo. Either that or Ronaldo. It's one.
Either that or Mikel Antonio for me, really.
No.
Antonio would be an interesting shot. I mean, we already talked about this, but Leeds defense is like injured right now, so that might be interesting to have.
Yeah. I agree. Um, of the highest expected returns per 90, Cristiano Ronaldo is ranked highest this week. 1.67 against Aston Villa, an out of form team that's
Yeah,
struggling
Ronaldo's
to
bagging
the
a hat
win.
trick. You know, Ronaldo's bagging a hat trick in that game.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
at
gonna
home.
be a fun thing to watch.
And then
If
Mohamed Salah.
Ronaldo doesn't score at least 2 goals, I'll wear a Man City jersey.
All right. That's on record. The next time you come on, you're gonna wear a Man City jersey, and I'm gonna
If
make
he
it happen.
doesn't score 2 goals. I don't have a City jersey, by the way, but I assume you have one that I can just steal.
Just get it from Amir.
Yeah, no, he's in Indonesia.
Oh, whoops! I didn't know that.
It's better this way. We hurt
Cool.
each other.
Anyways, guys, that's the podcast this week. If you haven't enjoyed it, do give it a like. It's been a lot of rambling on this week and a lot of bias, a lot of passion by Mr. Passion Merchant himself. I think that's what we're going to call him now from this week. And Mr. Statistician.
Happy Faisal, the passion merchant.
If you have enjoyed it, do subscribe.
He's so
Stay
tired.
here. If you stay here to this point, do give it a like.
You stay here to this point, give me your bank account because I'll Venmo you money or something, bro. At this rate, I'll PayPal you. All right. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.